Meshack Owuor, a resident of Mombasa, feels the strain of rising living costs. At a local shop, he buys a loaf of bread and a few pieces of cassava, not just for lunch but with plans to save part of it for dinner. Every purchase is a small calculation, a way to stretch his budget just a little further. In these challenging times, even the simplest meal requires careful planning.
Budget yangu ya nyumba kama 5,000 kwa mwezi kwa chakula tu, lakini sasa inabidi niende chini more than half of it kama 2,000. Kwa sababu gani? Ile ambavyo wametufinya kuchukua hiyo kama housing levy zimetolewa, na ndio pesa ambayo ilikuwa inatusaidia sisi. 500 ni pesa nyingi sana kwa mwananchi wa Kenya kwa sasa hivi. Pesa ni ile, mshahara uongezeki, lakini mahitaji ya serikali kwangu mimi yameongezeka. Housing levy imeongezeka na kato mambo mengine pia na bado yanaongezeka. They don't care whether this salary is going up or is going down. What they care is about their taxes, how they'll tax me.
Meshack worries he'll have to dig deeper into his pockets following the implementation of the housing levy and shift deductions, which he says will cut his disposable income by nearly 3,000 shillings.
Ukisema unanikata hiyo 1,500 na hii shati na 1,500, hiyo na 3,000, naweza lipa rent hiyo kwa mwezi, naweza nunua chakula, naweza lipia mtoto wangu school fees pia, lakini inabidi sasa nisifanye hayo mambo.
Triza Kimani, Managing Director at Nani Employee Leasing, says the new deductions are impacting more than just individual workers. She notes that many of her clients are considering layoffs to manage the rising cost of doing business.
The amount of money the client has to pay, you have to add all these statutory deduction. Then you tell that client they also to pay you your administration fee. Then now the cost of business becomes very high. The unfortunate thing is that employers would want maybe to match, for your workers to remain earning the same amount. But now again, the business is not doing well. So that particular worker has to do the same work with the same amount of money in terms of gross, but less take home. Yeah.
As part of the recent changes, workers now contribute 2,160 shillings monthly to NSSF, up from 200 shillings. Salaried Kenyans will also see 2.75% of their pay go towards SHIF and 1.5% towards the housing levy. And with the Kenya Revenue Authority now requiring housing levy deductions to be remitted by the 9th of every month, Triza believes a solution is needed to ease the burden on employers.
I think the governments need to consider removing the obligation of paying statutory from an employer and require the employee to pay, so that they take, because you see, like now, if I don't pay the statutory, I am given, legally, I'm held accountable and I'm penalized for not submitting the statutory. And sometimes the employee doesn't understand that. They think you are the one taking the money and keeping it in your company. So maybe one of the way maybe to allow the employee process where the money goes is the government to consider removing that obligation from the employer and ask the employee to pay for themselves directly to the government.
Despite the challenges, both Meshack and Triza remain hopeful. Meshack is finding new ways to make each shilling count. Meanwhile, Triza believes that open dialogue between employees, employers and policymakers could lead to a better solution for all. Alan Wino for K24.